Welcome back to a new video, or maybe my first video. It depends on which account I will upload this video on. But today I'm going to be reviewing Bleach, or more specifically, the whole first arc, all the way to the end of the Soul Society arc, because that's what I've seen so far. Um, when I finished the Soul Society arc, which I did like 2 3 weeks ago, I paused Bleach because I've heard it's like upwards of like 100 filler episodes in a row now. So I'm pausing Bleach for a little while, and I feel like it's a great time to put out a review and talk about what I think about it. My friend glazed Bleach a lot and watched it in school and stuff, and he told me to watch it, so I did. I watched like 15 episodes ish, and I thought it was pretty mid. I thought it was, to be honest, I thought it was really mid. It didn't really sit with me or click with me. Um, but I've heard that it got a lot better during the Soul Society arc. So I still had kind of faith in it, but I ended up dropping it because it was like a chore to watch. I didn't like it. Then not too long ago, I was at the gym with my friend, and he was like, "Bro, have you seen Bleach?" And he showed me a bunch of Bleach edits and stuff, and he glazed it a lot as well. So he made me start watching it again, and I watched like five more episodes, whatever, and then he got into the Soul Society arc, and wow, it's like a whole different show. So yeah, I'm telling you, like if you didn't like the first like 18-ish episodes, don't drop Bleach because the Soul Society arc is completely different. It's like watching a different show. And yeah, spoiler alert, I quite like it. Um, at the end of the video, I will give my final rating as well. But okay, to speak a little bit about it, season one, or I know it's not split up in seasons, but I watched it being split up in seasons because I watched it on Disney Plus. But the first 20-ish episodes, in my opinion, they're pretty boring. They're in the real world. Um, Not that much happens. We get introduced to some characters, whatever. It's kind of lame. But then after that, they enter the Soul Society arc, and wow, it completely switches. I love the whole like atmosphere, the aesthetic, the vibe of it, how dark it is, the power dynamics, and how like the characters look and all that. It's a real nice atmosphere in the Soul Society arc. It's kind of dark. I really enjoy that. Um, and the action is great. The action is amazing. Some of the best in anime, I would say. I love the whole arc. Saving Rukia. And by the way, I'm not really worried about giving away spoilers because the show was like, I don't know. I don't really know actually, but like about 15 years old, I think. So I don't really care about giving away spoilers. Okay, so if you haven't seen the show and you don't want it spoiled, then maybe don't watch this video. Anyway, I love the whole saving Rukia arc, or I don't know what to say. Saving, I don't know. I like how it's done. Okay, I like them having that objective and trying to get to her, then trying to get her out of the society or the prison, whatever. Um, I think it was done really well, and a lot of characters are very interesting and cool. It's not just Ichigo, the main characters. All the different squad members are really interesting and really cool as well. Um, yeah, the pacing is really good. Like in the Soul Side arc, basically every episode, except from like two episodes, I think, are like really really great. So you never really lose interest, and you can watch it really quickly. You know, um, I think the Soul Side arc is like 40 episodes. It feels like you're watching 5 episodes. Really, time flies when you're watching it. um, yeah, what more is there to say? To be honest, I don't really know. Um, my number one thing with it that I liked is what I mentioned earlier: the aesthetics and the atmosphere of the Soul Society, and and also the fights. The fights are amazing. uh, and that's what I named earlier as well. The squad members are very powerful, so every fight feels like it actually means something. It's not like just an overpowered shonen anime, because those animes I tend to really not like that much. I like more animes like Berserk, which I will do a review on soon, and Vinland Saga, and those I don't really like. Pointless animes with just a really powerful main character. Like One Punch Man, for example. I know a lot of people love it. I don't. Same with Jujutsu Kaisen. I think it's better than One Punch Man, but still, it's not really my thing. So yeah. Anyway, I like the whole story of Bleach, and every character is very powerful, very strong. So it's not just an overpowered main character. Like I just said, I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot, but I'm bad at reviews. So I don't really know what to say. Um, but yeah, yeah, I really like the story. It's fairly simple, sure, but still, it doesn't have to be super complex like some animes. Um, but yeah, yeah. Overall, I really dig it. I have some complaints, mainly like this is a complaint I feel like I have with a lot of animes is that we don't get close enough to the characters, and it's gonna be like that, especially when it's an unrealistic anime. If you know what I mean, it's not like a realistic anime. If it's an anime with superpowers and stuff like that, it's very it gets very unrealistic and it gets harder to kind of relate to the characters. That's a complaint that I have with most animes. So you don't really feel that strong of a connection. I like animes a lot, like Death Note, because that's like an ordinary person and something happens to him. Same with Parasite, the Maxi. I don't really know how to pronounce that. Anyway, I really like those because it's like an ordinary person and something happens to them. I guess it's kind of the same with Bleach, but I feel like with Bleach it's more taken to an extreme. And when it's like that, I feel like it's harder to get close to the characters. And also, in a lot of animes, we don't really get that close to a lot of characters. It's more like fighting, and maybe they get a little bit of backstory on their childhood, but we don't really get to know other characters' personalities and how they speak, or how it would be like for them to just sit down and speak and talk. Because I feel like a lot of people watching anime are kind of dopamine junkies. They want some fight all the time. And sure, that can be great as well. Sometimes you're in the mood for that, but I like more character development and stuff like that. And character development and getting to know a character is not just showing some memories from their childhood and then them improving as a character or as a fighter or whatever. I would like if we got deeper and closer to the characters. That's my main complaint. Okay, overall, I would rate what I've seen so far. I'm not rating all of Bleach right now, but up to the end of Society arc, which most people say is the best of Bleach, I would give it an 8. And by the way, when I say an 8, it's really really good. I know some people say like 8, 7 when they think something is average, but when I think something is average, I'm gonna give it a 5. So my ratings are fairly harsh. Anyway, that's basically it. What I got for y'all today in this video. Um, Comment down below what you think of Bleach. Have you seen it? Have you not? Are you planning to? If you have, tell me what you think. It would be fun to read. I hope I get some views in this video at least. I doubt it, but hope so. Anyway, see y'all in the next video. It will probably be out soon, and I think it's going to be a Mob Psycho review on season 1. Anyway, see ya.